Dear God, I got one question. I need to know, do revolutionaries go to heaven? And if so, may their legacies last forever and their seeds grow. Tell them that we love them so and never let them die slow. It's like we cursed to be born black. We was kings and queens, now look where we at. I know it won't be long before we take it back. I just hope I live long enough to see it happen, and that's a fact. Cause one thing when you pro-black, you might love your people, but they may not love you back. For more than 400 years, we've been under attack. We survived slavery and then they gave us crack. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? 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 I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope so. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope my mind.
Sula mzalunga ka Sula zonyembezi kusazolunga qawela Sun is gonna shine and the rain is gonna go. Sula mzalunga ka Sula zonyembezi kusazolunga qawela. I've been sipping nice, I've been sipping nice. Got you on my side and you're looking nice. I've been sipping nice, I've been sipping nice. Got you up.
What's good, family? I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Taye Speaks, this episode number 1. Got a very special guest in the house. Brother from another mother, all the way from South Africa. What's good, CB? How you feeling, bro?
Yo, man, I'm feeling good, man. I would like to say shout out to everybody that's watching and listening at the same time. And I would like to say thank you for the opportunity that you're giving me. You actually my brother from another mother. Like, for real, for real.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. I definitely appreciate you. For everybody that don't know, when I be going out to South Africa, my bro be coming through looking out for me, man. Picking me up from the airport, you know, setting the music up, the studio, you know, putting things together, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we got to connect, you know, with our brothers and sisters from the diaspora all the way to the continent and back, you know what I'm saying? So we gonna get right into it, man. Let them know, you know, let them know what you do.
Okay, yeah, this is CP, no Ghost. My real name is Taye Bombata. I'm a singer, rapper, songwriter. Now we just started learning how to produce. So I'm adding producing in my name now. A record label owner, a soon to be a podcast person. You know, shout out to you for actually recommending me to do some of to jump into that field of podcast.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. We influence each other. So you a solid artist. You know, I do appreciate your craft, man. You've been putting out some nice music, but you know, let's take it back to the beginning. You know what I'm saying, so they can learn a little bit more about you. Let them know what part of South Africa you from, what city, you know, your tribe, and all of that. Tell them you know.
I'm from Ishawe. I'm from Ishawe. There's a small town from Durban. So I'm from Ishawe in Durban. Durban is our city, and then the province is KwaZulu Natal. So I'm from but then I grew up in Ishawe, but in between of Nkandla. Some people, if you Google Nkandla, you will see a former president of South Africa is from there too. So I'm in between those two places. But I grew up in Ishawe in Sunnydale. That's where I started to fall in love with the music. Because I think I started in 2006, but I was already in the music before that. I fell in love with music. I think I was in grade grade 8, grade 9, that's where I started to say, you know what, let me just jump into this music. Let me just try and write something and see if I get a beat, how will it sound? So then I think I was in high school at that time. And then I moved into Sunnydale just because I don't know, it's something that Taye, I never spoke about it a lot of times. I think you know, I lost my parents when I was young, bro. I hardly have even my mother and my father's photo. So when when they passed away, I had to actually try and see how can I live now, because I didn't have anyone to say, okay, fine, let me provide you with this, let me provide you with that. So I had to provide myself. So I started working in a garden in some of the Indians and colored family. And there's one African sister that I was working for. That she was my school teacher. So she took me and then she said, "Okay, fine, you're gonna work for me. We're gonna provide transport for you. We're gonna buy clothes for you. We're gonna like help you finish school." So that's how I got my metric. Then so everything started in Sunnydale. So if anybody knows me, they know I'm from Ishawe in Sunnydale. That's where I started rapping.
Okay, okay. Now, if you don't mind me asking, how would you when you lost your parents? You lost both of your parents at the same time, or was it just different occasions?
Nah, it was different occasion. I lost my mom first, and then I lost my grandma from my mother's side, and then I lost my grandpa from my mother's side. Then I lost other sisters of my mother's sisters also, and then the other year I think also they just like 2 years apart. Then the other year, I lost my father. Then I lost my grandma on my father's side. I lost my grandfather on my father's side. And then I lost my father's brothers and sisters on my side. It was like the way it happened. I still don't believe it, because there was a time where my father passed away that year. And then the following year, we normally do ceremonies. I'm looking for this one. We actually do those ceremonies to cleanse ourselves. That's what we call it. So on that day, that's when my father's brother passed away. On this day when we were doing that. So the whole family, actually, the way that it happened, it wasn't make sense at all.
And how old was you at this time? Like, was you a teenager, or you were still a kid, or?
Yeah, I was still a kid, man. I was still a kid. I was still a kid
Oh, okay,
because
man.
I was, yeah. So I was still a kid, and a lot of things I wasn't clued up about. I was still like depending on my parents and the family. And then when everything happened, then I was in a situation where I had to say, okay, now it's either I go to the streets to hustle, or I find somebody else to help me. And then fortunately, I spoke to my class teacher. My class teacher said, okay, I already knew your story, because I became close with my class teacher. It's Miss Zibani. Then she said, okay, fine. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna have a meeting, and then we're gonna introduce you to the board people at school, and then they're gonna look at you. They're gonna look at your marks. And fortunately, I was doing great. I was the A student A student person. So then they said, okay, fine, your marks are great, everything is good. So now this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get you someone who's gonna provide you with transport, and then someone that's gonna provide you with school clothes, books, everything. But in return, I had to do like some garden work for them. You understand? So it wasn't nothing for free. You know what I mean? Just like, someone just gonna take you and then say, I'm gonna raise you, I'm gonna provide you with everything, but it wasn't for free. I had to do some gardening work for them so that they can pay for my school fees, for my transports and all that day up until I finish my matric.
Oh, okay, man. I truly appreciate you, sharing that with the viewers. I know you, but man, you know, you've been through a lot. A lot of us complain, and you know, we don't put forth the effort to be successful in life, and you overcame so many obstacles. You know what I'm saying? Just to lose your
Yeah,
family and having
yeah,
to work as a kid. You know what I'm saying? You, like you say, nobody gave you anything. Nobody gave you nothing. You worked for it, and your grades was good, and you